Welcome, curious explorers, to explore and discover Curious World. Today, we're diving into an epic battle between two incredible monsters, SCP-682, the nearly invincible mutant reptile, and the Megalodon, the ancient giant shark that terrorized the seas millions of years ago. Get ready to discover why SCP-682 might actually be more dangerous than a Megalodon. Yes, you heard that right. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell so you never miss out on any of our absurd explorations. The secret base under the ocean. One of the best-kept secrets of the SCP Foundation is hidden deep at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. This isn't just some basic research lab. No, it's a place designed to contain, protect, and study some of the most dangerous and mysterious creatures and objects ever discovered on this planet. And trust me, it's not an easy job. Imagine waking up every morning knowing you have to monitor a list of horrors straight out of your worst nightmares. I'd be reaching for coffee like it's my lifeline. So every day, authorized personnel bravely step into this fortress, doing their rounds, making sure nothing too weird happens. Because, let's face it, in a place like this, too weird is always just one step away. Take SCP-087, for example, a staircase that descends into an endless, pitch-black void. Now, if that doesn't make you feel claustrophobic, get this. Lurking in the darkness is a face. Not just any face, but one with no pupils, no nose, just a featureless, ghostly stare. And the best part? We have no clue what it is. It's just there, hanging out in the dark, creeping people out. Lovely, right? Then there's SCP-337. At first glance, you might think it's harmless. It's just a mass of human hair, 60 kilograms of it. But oh no, it's far from harmless. This thing can move, grow, and has a strange habit of attracting other hair. So imagine if you had this thing near a hair salon. It would be the nightmare of every hairstylist. The more hair it finds, the bigger it gets. Now, I don't know about you, but 60 kilograms of moving hair is already more than I'm comfortable with. What happens when it hits 100 kilograms or 200? Let's not stick around to find out. SCP-682, the Mutation King. But now we get to the true star of today's story, SCP-682. Now, this isn't your everyday crocodile or even your run-of-the-mill mutant monster. No, this thing is the size of a bus that hates your guts. I'm serious. SCP-682 is filled with such a deep hatred for humanity that it almost feels personal. It doesn't just want to survive. It wants to destroy everything, and it's pretty good at doing just that. And if being a massive, angry reptile wasn't enough, SCP-682 can adapt to almost any situation. Imagine trying to fight this thing and thinking, okay, we've got it cornered. And then it suddenly sprouts new limbs, or grows a protective shell, or, I don't know, decides to regenerate after you thought you killed it. It's the Swiss Army knife of nightmares. Now picture this. The monster has escaped its cage. It's not happy being locked up, so it's out in the Atlantic, roaming free. But here's the kicker. It's evolving. It's growing fins and gills to swim better in the ocean, like, oh, you thought I was scary on land? Wait until I get comfortable underwater. And where is it heading? Straight for land. Because of course, it's not satisfied with just being a menace in the ocean. No, SCP-682 wants to take its terror show on the road, or rather, on the shore. The arrival of the Megalodon. But just when you think things couldn't get worse, here comes the twist. The SCP Foundation isn't sitting idly by. They've sent out 10 submarines and 20 ships to track SCP-682 using the most advanced sonar technology they have. But suddenly, an unexpected signal shows up on their radar. Something is coming, something big, and it's moving fast. It's not SCP-682, it's Meg. Yes, the Megalodon, the prehistoric giant shark that used to rule the seas millions of years ago, is back, and it's not happy. Imagine being a shark the size of a Boeing 747, minding your own business in the deep sea. And suddenly, you're disturbed by a fleet of noisy submarines. Yeah, Meg is about to make them pay. And when I say pay, I mean it. The Megalodon used to be as long as a train car, but this one, it's even bigger. We're talking about a shark that can swallow entire ships, tearing through steel like it's tissue paper. So, you can imagine the sheer panic on board when they realize Meg is coming straight for them. It's like that classic Jaws moment, but on a much bigger, more terrifying scale. The Battle of Titans. At this point, SCP-682 spots Meg. Now, this is where things get really interesting. The two titans of the ocean stare each other down, sizing each other up. On one side, you've got Meg, this enormous shark with 300 teeth, built for one thing: destruction. On the other side, you've got SCP-682, smaller but infinitely more intelligent and adaptable. It can regenerate, transform, and strategize, making it a deadly opponent despite its size. SCP-682 has a huge advantage: its ability to mutate. It can grow multiple eyes all over its body, giving it a 360-degree view of the battlefield. Meanwhile, Meg is stuck with just 2 eyes and, let's face it, a lot of bulk to drag around. Meg's strength is in its sheer power, but SCP-682? It's got speed, agility, and brains. Not to mention, it can sprout claws, tentacles, and spikes, whatever it needs to counter the massive shark. It's like watching a tactical genius take on a brute force brawler. Meg charges at SCP-682, aiming to crush it with its massive jaws. But SCP-682 is already anticipating the move. It dodges, weaving through the water with agility that a creature its size shouldn't have. Meg swings its giant tail, trying to swat the reptile away like a fly, but SCP-682 is always one step ahead, calculating every move. SCP-682's strategy: get small, but here's where SCP-682 pulls a truly surprising move. It decides that brute force isn't the best approach, and instead, it shrinks. Yes, that's right. SCP-682 shrinks down to the size of a salmon, completely throwing Meg off its game. Can you imagine the confusion on Meg's face? Well, if sharks had facial expressions, that is. One moment, it's about to battle a massive reptile, and the next, it's staring down a fish-sized version of its opponent. Now, what does SCP-682 do next? It swims straight into Meg's mouth. Yep, you heard that right. It's like, why fight the giant when I can just swim inside? It's one of those plans that's so crazy, it just might work. SCP-682 slips right into Meg's jaws and disappears. And for a moment, it looks like the fight is over. Meg might have actually won. The 5 Megalodons. Time for revenge. But hold on, just when we think SCP-682 is done for, something else happens. It's not just one Megalodon. Oh no, that would be too easy. 5 more Megalodons show up out of nowhere. Now, we've got a full-on army of giant sharks, all ready to avenge their fallen comrade. It's like they've formed a prehistoric shark gang, and they're not taking any prisoners. SCP-682, still inside the first Meg, realizes it's time to step things up. So, what does it do? It transforms again, this time into a spiked ball of doom. That's right, SCP-682 turns into a floating, spiked sphere that's nearly impossible to bite into. It's like trying to chew on a porcupine, and the poor Megalodons have no idea how to handle it. One by one, the Megalodons try to take down SCP-682, but each time they bite, they only get a mouthful of spikes. It's painful, it's frustrating, and it's not going well for our prehistoric sharks. It's almost like SCP-682 is toying with them, letting them think they've got a chance, only to reveal a new trick at the last second. The Kraken, the final threat. But just when you think things can't get any crazier, we get the final twist. From the depths of the ocean, a new threat emerges: the Kraken. This massive sea monster, with tentacles the size of skyscrapers, decides to join the party. Now, we've got 5 Megalodons, SCP-682 as a spiked ball, and the Kraken thrashing its enormous tentacles around. If this isn't a recipe for disaster, I don't know what is. Picture the scene: 5 sharks circling, a spiky reptile floating in the middle, and giant tentacles crashing down from above. It's chaos on an unimaginable scale. At this point, anyone with any sense would be fleeing the area, but we're not here for common sense. We're here to see how this epic showdown ends. Who will win? And so, here we are at the end of this colossal battle. We've seen monsters mutate, sharks gang up, and even the Kraken throw its hat or tentacle into the ring. But the big question remains, who will win? Will it be SCP-682, with its constant evolution and intelligence? Or will the Kraken, with its sheer size and power, crush everything in its path? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Who's your pick in this ultimate monster showdown? And hey, don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you never miss out on our next wild and absurd adventure. See you next time, curious explorers!